Judy, what's wrong?
Ryan, we were supposed to be leaving on the Garden Time tour to Spain and Portugal this weekend.
Well, that's okay, Judy. It's just been postponed for a year. But you know what hasn't been postponed?
What's that?
A new episode of Garden Time.
Welcome to Garden Time, and it is true that we have postponed our Spain and Portugal tour to October of 2021, but the good news is that there's openings. So you can go to gardentime.tv and click on the little airplane for more information.
And coming up on the show today, we'll show you how to plant onions and garlic.
We'll also be showing you some late pear recipes.
But coming up first, some fabulous fall color up at Hoyt Arboretum. Well, it's a beautiful fall day. I'm with Martin. We're up here at Hoyt Arboretum. And Martin, the foliage is turning.
Yeah, it is. We're just kind of right at the start of the fall color season. So behind us, this is American smoke tree, cotinus, and it's really looking pretty good. The fall color we kind of see as the day length starts to decrease, that really is a trigger for the change in the leaves. And so right now we're seeing a combination of the temperature drop and also the day length getting shorter. The trees that are deciduous trees that are basically dropping their leaves to avoid winter desiccation or cold damage. There's lots of different reasons why a tree might not want to carry its leaves all the way through the winter. And so now we're seeing chlorophyll start to disappear from those leaves. And with the green color gone, that was the chlorophyll, we're starting to see these other chemicals that are in the leaf that gives us those nice oranges and yellows and reds that we really like.
Because we get viewers that are, call in and ask us like, well, how my tree is like, what makes it color, or why is it not coloring this way and in other ways? But there's definitely some science and chemistry that goes behind it.
In the fall, the plant basically stops making as much of the chlorophyll part of the leaf, and those levels in the leaf just start to drop off. The plant's busy taking nutrients out of the leaf for winter storage, and it's actually harvesting some of those proteins that are part of the chlorophyll cell structure, and it's moving those back in. But there's an abscission layer that makes the leaf fall off. It's also starting to form those cells that are actually blocking the ability to move nutrients in and out. And then the red color, which is actually the one that we all really like to see, is those really bright, reds and things. That's actually anthocyanin, which is a chemical which doesn't exist in the leaf until the fall. And there's a few theories about why a plant would produce it, but probably one of the sort of leading ideas is that it helps to stabilize a lot of the sort of chemical processes that are happening in the leaf. And so without anthocyanin, the plant wouldn't be able to harvest as much nutrients back for storage. And anthocyanin actually helps to sort of protect the leaf and stabilize some of those chemical processes that are happening. So we see levels of anthocyanin actually increase in plants that produce that in the fall.
Now, will certain plants, change? Like one year it might be super red, and the next year might be a little bit more oranges. Are you going to get some changing in variance from year to year with the same plant?
Yeah, there's all those sort of weather factors that affect what we see year to year. So a healthy plant, if it had the same conditions every year, would probably look about the same. But of course, every year is a little different, and so we see the best conditions are when we have nice fall rain and good soil moisture, and then we get a lot of these really nice, like today, this beautiful sort of crisp, clear blue days. We see the sunlight really enhances those colors. If we get a lot of cloudy days, we won't see as good a fall color. And so, we can actually see a couple of things on the tree, the effect of like sunlight.
Yeah, we were looking at some of those where you can see on the leaf where some of the leaves were, it was covered up by another leaf. It's still green under there where the outside leaf is actually showing.
And you can just see how the sunlight is, this one leaf is covering and it's starting to turn these reds, but if we flip that out, we can see the leaves that didn't
underneath
get the
you
sun.
have more of the green color that hasn't had the
green's
sun
still
yet.
there because the sunlight hasn't broken down the chlorophyll in those leaves yet. As those upper leaves fall away, So you can sort of see an extension of the fall color on the same plant as more leaves are exposed to the sunlight.
And you know, and as people are coming up here to, you know, the Arboretum to come start checking out the fall coloring, you guys are open and you have a lot to look at.
Yeah, I mean, the Arboretum, we have 12 miles of trails, but generally there's sort of certain areas that have the best fall color. So our maple collection, I mean, everyone knows maples are sort of great for fall color. But with the variety of species we have in the Arboretum, we'll have good fall color for another 6 weeks. Really, even some of the sweet gums, the tupelos, they're late October, early November before they really hit their peak fall color.
So people that are coming out to the Arboretum, you know, you're requiring masks now, or what should they expect when they come out?
Yeah, they can check Explore Washington Park, which is has information about visiting Washington Park, and then also the Hoyt Arboretum Friends have the hoytarboretum.org website. There's some information about the trails. You know, people should do what they're comfortable with, but our trails are open. You can find out which of our trails are wider, so you can observe the 6-foot spacing, and then we just ask people wear a mask if they're in areas where they can't, you know, observe those 6-foot spacings.
Okay, so it's good, you know, to have them come and, you know, check the website, because you said you're going to post some areas. You're not doing guided walks, but you will have, you know, posting as far as which areas of the park
I would keep an eye on
some colors. So.
Yeah, keep an eye on our social media, because we'll probably have some photos up of some of the things as they turn full color. But otherwise, you know, the Maple Trail is a great destination. Probably in about 10 days, the Bristlecone Pine Trail is a really great destination. Right. There's a really good pocket of fall color that comes on there.
And the park is changing often, so it's good to, you know, come often and keep coming back and checking back over and over again and experiencing different parts of the Arboretum. So Martin, it's been a pleasure to be out here with you, and quite an education on the fall color and how things turn. So, you know, for more information on Hoyt Arboretum or in this episode, you can go to gardentime.tv and we'll click you open. So Martin, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Garden Time is brought to you by Portland Nursery, a passion for plants, a nursery for plant people.
Is your garden in need of refreshment? Hi, I'm Sarah, and there are plenty of things in bloom at Portland Nursery. Come check out our beautiful fall color to perk up your garden. At Portland Nursery, we consider fall the second season, and the gardening opportunities are endless. Establish next year's trees, replace lettuce and greens, or get a jump on onions and garlic. Portland Nursery, a passion for plants, a nursery for plant people, on 50th and Stark and 90th and Division, or at portlandnursery.com.
Every year, trees fall or break, causing property damage, power outages, and injury.
Now is the time for Bartlett Tree Experts and Collier Arbor Care to get your trees ready for the extreme conditions ahead.
Our free consultation will help to spot the signs of potentially hazardous trees.
We can help address problems before they occur. Whether it's trees or shrubs, we can help you get a healthy and beautiful garden.
Collier Arbor Care and Bartlett Tree Experts, providing environmentally safe tree care since 1907.
Build a beautiful home inside and out at French Prairie Perennials. Inside, we have just the right creative elements to complete your decor. We offer an oasis of unusual, nature-inspired garden and home gifts and accessories. Outside, choose from our wide selection of unique dwarf conifers and sparkling companion plants. French Prairie Perennials, located between Woodburn and Wilsonville. Take exit 278 to Aurora and French Prairie Perennials.
The biggest sale of the year is on now. Huge savings on perennials, trees and shrubs, pottery, patio furniture, and more. Don't miss it. Our biggest sale of the year is on now. Al's Garden and Home in Woodburn, Sherwood, Gresham, and Wilsonville.
Well, it is fall right now, and it's time to plant garlic and onions. So I'm going to plant the garlic, and Ryan's got the onions.
So these are the onion sets. So these are like the little onion bulbs, little miniature bulbs, and these are available at the garden centers now. So now's the time to get these in the ground and plant them. They'll go all winter long, and then they'll come back up in the spring, and you'll start harvesting in about June or July. So what we want to do is we dug a little bit of trough in there. We want to plant these about 1 inch, inch and a half deep. We also want to make sure we space them out enough so when they grow, they can get to be the size of the onion without filling in next to them or cramming ones next to them. So we'll just go through our little line. We'll just lay these out. And then after we have them done, we can just kind of go through and just kind of fold that soil right back in. And then we'll want to make sure we mark our rows so we know where we planted them. Now for garlic, Judy's going to show us how to plant those.
So when you get the garlic from your garden center, it's going to look like the one that you get at the grocery store. So you don't plant this whole bulb of garlic. You want to take it apart. So I took this one apart and look at all these cloves, and each of these cloves is going to be a new head of garlic next year. And again, just like the onions, it's probably going to be ready to harvest about July. You can take off this little bit of paper. You don't need that, but leave the skin that is right next to the clove. And so garlic is just a little bit different than onion. You want to go about 2 inches down, so that's about 2 knuckles on your finger, and about 4 inches apart, and that's about the length of a whole finger. And just kind of press them in there, and don't forget to separate them. And we also dug a trench just like Ryan did, and the soil is so nice. It's all prepared. And just go down the row about 4 inches apart, and you're good to go. Mound the soil over those garlic cloves. And we also marked it, and you see we forgot one from this summer, so this is the head of the class right here, right next to our marker.
So now that we have our onions and garlic planted, we want to make sure that they stay planted. So what we have here is a little bit of bird netting. And so what we've cut this out kind of the size of the bed, and we just lay this right over the top of our planted areas and just use a couple little bricks. And this will help hold it down. And then as the plants grow during the spring, they'll grow up through this nest, and it just makes sure that the animals and critters don't dig them up. And then in the spring, once the foliage starts poking up through the netting, it'll be easy just to remove the netting and we're ready to go.
And so just like planting spring bulbs now, so Mother Nature will take care of watering in the garlic and onions. And just wait till next summer and you'll have tasty onions and delicious garlic. This fall, you may have noticed on your deck or on your front porch that the spiders are really active. And you know, some people are really nervous about spiders, but really they are gardeners' friends because they do eat bugs. So if you see spiders in your plants or in your eaves, on the webs you're going to see the females, and then on the others kind of running around are going to be the males. And the females are collecting, they're trying to get fed and just trying to bulk up because they're going to start laying eggs for the winter. And then they'll hatch out in the spring. So really, if you see those webs, just admire them. They're interesting. It's nature, and just kind of leave them alone because they really will help your gardens next year.
At Blooming Junction, fall isn't about winding down. It's about getting ready. In the garden, start the next season off right now. Fall plantings produce healthier, more robust, and drought-tolerant plants than those planted in spring or summer. In the kitchen, get ready for the holidays with fresh, organically grown produce from our fields. So, whether it's for the garden or for the kitchen this season, Blooming Junction is your place for quality, uncommon plants and produce for your home and garden.
It's fall and it's harvest season, it's pumpkin time. I'm out here with Stacy, we're out at French Prairie Gardens, and the pumpkin patch is open.
It is. We have all sorts of activities for you to do. Even our mazes are open. We have a corn maze, sunflower maze, a rope maze this year. And then we also have our obstacle course, ninja, hand pump duck races, the pumpkin patch, lots and lots of pumpkins to choose from, tractor wagon rides that'll take you out to the mazes and back around so you can drop off your pumpkins. We also have tire swings. Oh, so much more.
And the farm animals.
Oh yes, can't forget the farm animals and the pig barrel train rides. There's just so much to do.
Which is great. But you know, so if people are wanting to come out and enjoy all these activities, what's your protocols right now?
Right now, we're asking people to book ahead online so that we can kind of keep our crowds down. They can go to our website, they get a 2-hour time for fun and do all the activities, and then they can head on into the farm store and enjoy lots of good stuff up there.
Yeah, because you have your food on the weekends and the beer and the cider.
Yeah, we have our Farmer's Fry open and our farm bar so they can enjoy a beer or a cider. They can have lots of lots of baked goods out of our bakery, and all sorts of goodies that you can even think of up there.
Right. And you guys are open, you said 6 days a week now?
Yep, 6 days a week. Monday's the only day we're closed, so Tuesday through Sunday. We do have the activities running on the weekdays as well as the weekends. So if you want to skip a rainy day, you can book a time during the week and come after you finish the kids doing school and come have a lot of fun. We do have a limited food menu on the week, but we always have those baked goods going, those apple cider donuts, you know, fresh produce, all sorts of goodies.
And so, so the best place if you're wanting to come out is to go to your website?
Yep.
And then they can book their 2-hour time period.
Yeah. And that 2 hours just is for our activities. They can come in and enjoy the farm bar and have a drink on the patio after that, or have a corn dog, or whatever they're feeling like they want to do. Shop for plants, of course, because this is garden time. But yeah, there's lots and lots of stuff to do aside from that 2 hours.
Because I know with all the activities that have been canceled, we're all trying to find things to do as a family and to get out. With our kids,
we felt like we've all lost so much, we just couldn't take this away from everybody.
Right. So for more information, come on out to French Prairie Gardens. You can go to their website. Make sure you book your tickets, or you can go to gardentime.tv and we'll click you on over. So Stacy, we're looking forward to the pumpkin patch. So
thanks for coming out.
Garden Time's Incredible Edibles.
It is pear season, and where else to be but Smith Berry Barn with Joelle, and we love coming, and it smells so wonderful in here.
Thank you.
And so you have a recipe for us, because pears are really lovely to cook with. We usually do apple recipes, but pears, what a difference.
Exactly. You can use pears in a lot of the same ways that you can apples. Today we're going to be doing a caramelized pear. It's a very simple recipe. It's just pears and a little bit of sugar and spice in a saucepan. Super quick to make and very, very elegant. Today we are showcasing all of the different kinds of pears that we have here on the farm. We have some Bartlett, we have some red Bartlett, we have Anjou pears, and we have Comice pears.
Okay.
So today we're doing Bartlett pears.
And Bartlett are really so versatile because you can use them so many different ways.
Exactly. You can can these. They're perfect for canning. Fresh eating, obviously, and then any kind of baking or any kind of dessert, really.
And also then with the other two, the Comice and the Anjou, those are nice keepers?
They are. Comice is our latest variety. Bartlett is our earliest variety. We harvest it starting in late August. We are still picking them, and we do have U-pick on them, as well as in our cooler. We have them ready picked for people who want to buy them in, already picked. Comice is the one that will last all the way through Christmas and is an excellent dessert pear, so it's one of our favorites.
So save these recipes till then.
Exactly.
And so you're just peeling and coring the pears pretty easy?
I'm peeling, I am quartering and taking the core out carefully. And then basically all we're going to be doing is putting it in a pan of butter and sauteing it for a few minutes on all sides. And then we'll add a little bit of sugar and then pour the sugar over it, and we're going to eat it with a little ice cream.
I love easy recipes, and you always make it look so easy too. And to go back a little bit about the ripening, we talked about it on Garden Time a few weeks ago, but you also have a great kind of cheat sheet on your website.
We do. So if you go to our website, we have a how to ripen pears properly. And basically it's just that they require some chilling once they're picked. So straight off the tree, they'll go into a cooler or your refrigerator. And then once you're ready to use them, you'll take them out of the refrigerator and you ripen them on the counter for a few days before they get fully ripe.
And really, there's a difference. I mean, if you want to do that experiment at home, we did it with Garden Time, and it's just unbelievable because they taste perfect that way.
And a ripe pear is amazing, and it's so different from an unripe pear.
Yes. You're like, what have I been missing all these years?
It's like cutting into butter when it's ripe, and it tastes almost like butter.
Mm-hmm. And now, Joelle's going to finish up the recipe, and we'll be right back. Well, Joelle, that looks delicious and smells delicious, so please recap what you did here.
So basically, we just browned some butter, and we sauteed the apples on about three sides, about 5 minutes each, and then we put some sugar and spices over the top and mixed it all together, tossed it a little bit, and now we have these fabulously cooked pears with this yummy, yummy, yummy spiced butter sauce.
Nice.
A little ice cream necessary.
Of course. And then I see 2 other recipes going, and so what else did you make?
So we also did some cobbler. We did a spiced pear cobbler. So much like an apple cobbler, but we did put some spices in our cobbler topping, make it a little bit more seasonal. And then we're also doing some pear butter in our crock pot. We did this last year with our apples, and so we decided to try it this year with our pears.
Nice, nice.
Excited to see how that turns out.
Speaking of pear butter, though, you do have it for sale at the store, so in case we don't want to make it.
Exactly. We have our pear butter and our apple butter for sale, always in the store. We also have all of the spices that you would need for any of the recipes, and all of the recipes are on our website as well.
Nice. And then all the gadgets, because sometimes you do need that special gadget. It makes your life so much easier when you're working.
Yes, we don't need too many gadgets for pears, but we do have a lot of things for apples, particularly the apple peeler slicer, a lot of pie baking things as well.
Nice. And then tell us about what's going on at the farm. What can we come out for this
So
weekend?
right now we're doing you pick and our pears and apples, and 'tis the season. So as soon as they are, they'll be available until they're sold out, until they're picked out. So you'll want to go to our website, check our availability. We do have reservations required for our you picking right now. So you go to our website, check each day to see what's available for picking, and then you can come on out.
And also the recipes are there, the ripening guide is there. It's a great website, always all kinds of recipes. If you miss the tomatoes, it's there too. So please go to gardentime.tv and you can click over to their website and come out and enjoy Smithberry Barn. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Garden Time is brought to you by Capital Subaru, your way on the Parkway.
Great. And how much cargo room does it have?
Tons. Basically, all of that stuff will fit right here.
Even this guy?
Definitely.
I love it. What's next?
Well, financing can be done online, and if you're ready to test drive, we can bring it to you.
Wow. No wonder everyone told me to go to Capital Subaru. Thanks, Shelby. You ready to get back on the road again?
Definitely. 2020 isn't canceled. It just looks different. Shop online, by phone, or in person. Your way at Capital Subaru.
Create a beautiful living space both inside and out with the help of Terra Casa.
Outside, you'll find pottery, fountains, and decor to make your garden unforgettable.
And inside, there are home furnishings and just the right accents to make your home warm, inviting, and most importantly, comfortable.
Terra Casa has a huge selection of merchandise to fit any home or budget. Plus, we still have all the unique and distinctive gifts that you have come to expect from Terra Casa.
Terra Casa in downtown Damascus.
The biggest sale of the year is on now. Huge savings on perennials, trees and shrubs, pottery, patio furniture, and more. Don't miss it. Our biggest sale of the year is on now. Al's Garden and Home in Woodburn, Sherwood, Gresham, and Wilsonville.
This morning, we're revisiting a house strip, and that's that hard place to garden right in front of your home between the sidewalk and the street. And so we're revisiting it with Bonnie, and so Bonnie, it looks tremendously different in just 4 months.
It does, yeah. All of the plants have really taken off, and especially the nepeta or the catmint. We've been so excited because it's brought so many bees to the garden this summer.
Yeah, and it's still blooming, and it's probably been blooming all that time, which is great.
Yeah, it's been blooming and it's been coming into its own, and now we've got some of the fall colors coming in. So yeah, it's been a really wonderful surprise.
So even more surprising is the amount of water. So tell us about that, because that was really one of your big goals, is not a lot of water in this area.
Right, so originally I was thinking that I would put drip out here, and I just never got to it this summer, which was kind of a fun experiment, Sure. So we selected these plants so that they're water-wise plants, and hopefully they're well adapted to their space, which I think we've found that has proven true with this experiment. And so about every week or so, when things started to look a little bit dry, I would drag the hose out and give them a nice deep watering. And so probably over the last 4 months, I've given them, 8 to 10 waterings.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I've used this 5-gallon bucket. I drilled some holes in the bottom for the trees because I wanted to make sure that they need a little bit more water than our perennials. So I made sure to give them about 3 to 5 gallons per watering, and that seemed to work pretty well for them as well.
Wow, wow. And then what about the mulch? Because you put really a very generous amount of wood chip mulch on. So how did that work?
So that worked really well. The mulch made it so that there were less weeds. So I probably spent an hour, maybe 2 over the last 4 months, maybe 2. And then I also decided to add a couple of plants this summer in the middle of the summer, which is kind of a no-no, but I thought, well, let's just give it a whirl. So when I did that, I just pulled the mulch back and dug into the soil, and I was so pleasantly surprised to find that the soil was moist, and that wasn't in areas that I had been watering. So that, you know, the retention was really great.
That is amazing. And so, and speaking of water, I see another kind of jug you have there. So what is that jug?
Yes, so this is part of my emergency water supply. September is Emergency Preparedness Month, and typically I would switch out my emergency water supply in the summer, but I wanted to save it for today and just tell you and your listeners about this. So in September, we really recommend, we're trying to get the message out that we want people to store 1 gallon per person per day for 14 days. And obviously that won't help you with every emergency, but being prepared will definitely help with every emergency.
Well, definitely, and we all know that the last few weeks and how important it is to be prepared, and something so easy as just water. And then just as a wrap up, so what are you doing for fall for this area?
Right, so my plan is to plant bulbs, so we'll have some nice pops of color in the spring, and then if I get a wild hair and there's another plant that just needs to have a new home, I might move 1 or 2 more out here as well.
You're a true gardener. I mean, there's always one more plant.
Right, exactly, just never enough time.
And so is there a website that we can have the viewers go to for preparedness or just other information?
Yeah, so regionalh2o.org is our website. We've got great conservation information, so if you're looking for tips for next year or this fall, and then also, of course, emergency preparedness information.
Well, it's so exciting to see this again, Bonnie. Congratulations, it's such a success, and really, we all can, you know, have an idea of where to put water-wise plants. This is a great idea, a great experiment. Maybe you need to do it at your house too. If you have any other questions, please go to gardentime.tv and you can see the website that Bonnie's talking about. Thanks so much, Bonnie.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching Garden Time. Hey Judy, aren't you going to unpack your suitcase?
You know, Ryan, I am so excited about our tour next year, I'm going to leave it packed. And you know, if you're excited about the tour, please go to gardentime.tv and click on the little airplane for more information.
And for more information on today's show or any of our other episodes, go to gardentime.tv. Judy and I thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week on Garden Time.
The proceeding was a paid program of the Guston Creative Group and its sponsors.